pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
City of Romulus, City Council regular meeting for Monday, June the 5th, 2017. The roll will show that all members of council are present, with the exception of Councilwoman Choate and Councilwoman Makowski.
Be excused.
On the agenda this evening, number 1 is agenda, 2 minutes, 3 petitioner, 4 chairperson's report, 5 mayor's report, 6 clerk's report, 6B is the treasurer's report, 7 public comment, 8 unfinished business, 9 new business, 10 communication, and 11 is adjournment.
So moved.
Support.
Been motioned by Mr. Kraut, supported by Ms. Roscoe for approval of the agenda as presented. Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Agenda accepted.
2A is approval of the minutes from the regular council meeting held May 22nd, 2017.
So moved for May 22nd.
Support.
Motion by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Abdo for approval of the minutes from the regular council meeting, May 22nd. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion approved.
2B is approval of the minutes from the special meeting held May 22nd, 2017, city ordinance amendments and city quarterly investments report.
So moved for the approval of special meeting minutes on May 22nd.
Support.
Motion by Mr. Abdo, supported by Mr. Kraut, for approval of the minutes from the special meeting held May 22nd. Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion approved.
3A is petitioner, and we have no petitioners this evening, so we will go to number 4, the chairperson's report.
Thank you, Barb. I just want to remind everyone about the June 10th, this Saturday, at the household waste, hazardous waste collection, which will be held at the Henry Ford College, and that's at 5101 Evergreen Road in Dearborn. Other than that, Deputy Clerk, that concludes the chairperson's report.
John?
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Wadsworth.
Just a quick thing here. A couple weeks ago, I read a long list of the people that donated things for the Romulus Animal Shelter, and every year I end up missing somebody. And this year the winners were Mr. and Mrs. Kraut, because they were both there and they made a donation. So every year I got to miss somebody, and you folks were the winners this year, and I thank you for being there.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Wadsworth. That concludes the chairperson's report. Can I get a motion on that?
What? Make a motion.
Support.
Thank you, Mr. Kraut. Second?
Support.
Thank you. Motion by Mr. Kraut, supported by Mr. Wadsworth, to accept chairperson's report. Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved. Thank you.
5 is the mayor's report.
Thank you. Good evening, City Council, Treasurer, Deputy Clerk, and audience. Always bring a quote. This one comes from Ben Franklin. I thought it was pretty cool. Well done is better than well said. So I guess Ben thought talk was cheap also. So I thought that was a pretty good quote. Ton of stuff going around. What I'd like to do, we have a live report from world-famous Dennis Davison to come up and report on some things in the community. Dennis?
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. I too have an apology. We had our Memorial Day service a week ago out at the monument, and I thanked everybody but our fine fire department. They came out and helped us out with that ceremony. So my apologies. I thank you, fire department, and everybody else that helped us during that ceremony. Things that are coming up, Wednesday, June the 7th, will be the Mayor's Prayer Breakfast to be held at the RAC. And check-in will be at 7:30. Program will start right at 8 o'clock. On Thursday, June the 8th, the M&K Grand Opening and Ribbon Cutting at 28101 Eat Course will be held at 11 a.m. Flag Day ceremony on Wednesday, June the 14th. That will be two places. The first one will be at the Senior Center at 10:30. Then we'll go across the street and do a flag raising at the Towers. And then afterwards, everybody's invited back in for a barbecue. Compliments of Corporal Sano. Opening up again this year on Wednesday, June the 14th, is the Romulus Farmers Market, and that's been relocated this year. It's going to go back downtown to the Heritage Park, and so that will go on, I believe, through October. On Friday, June the 16th, a Romulus Rotary Golf Outing fundraiser is coming up. As you know, everybody knows the Rotary is very vital in our community, and I'm a Rotarian. And some of the things we do not only in the community but worldwide. And we're having our golf outing, and I'm the chair this year, and I need golfers. And Ms. Abdo made up a real nice basket for me for our Chinese auction. I need more of those, so anybody wants to help out along those lines with a basket. Also, I need golfers, so we're not full up yet, so I need golfers. Coming up on June the 16th in the evening will be our very first movie in the park, and this time out, it'll be Star Wars: The Force Awakens, and that, of course, will be at dusk at Historical Park. The Historical Society Flea Market will be on Saturday, June the 17th, and that is in the Historical Park. And on June the 20th, the Chamber Luncheon guest speaker will be WCAA CEO Joseph Nardon. That's from the airport. On Friday, June 23rd, Sounds in Downtown. Their kickoff will be at the Historical Park at 7 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you, Dennis. Now for my report for action items. First one up is item A. What you have before you, council, is a request to authorize the payment of SEMCOG dues in the amount of $2,683. These said dues are membership from June 15th of 17 through June 15th of 18, and those funds come out of multiple organization and membership dues accounts.
So moved.
Support.
Motion by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Mr. Kraut. This is for the SEMCA 2017-2018 dues. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Mr. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion approved.
Thank you, council. Next item, B, is regarding the fireworks. There's two motions required on this one. The first is a request to concur with the administration and adopt a resolution in support of the application with the state of Michigan for the 2017 firework event.
Mr. Chair, I'll make that motion to concur with the administration and adopt a resolution in support of the application with the state of Michigan for the 2017 fireworks event.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Abdo, and this is for to concur with the administration and adopt a resolution in support of the application with the state of Michigan for the 2017 fireworks event. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion approved.
Thank you, council. And by the way, for the audience, June 29th, it's a Thursday, is the evening of the fireworks. The June 30th Friday is the rain-out date. The second motion that's before you is just to concur with the administration, authorize a no-fee permit for the 2017 Romulus fireworks on city property south of E-Course, a no-fee permit for 2 food trailers, 1 glow product tent on the school property, and the approval of the closure of Osga Road between Tyler and Wick between 9 p.m. and 12 a.m. to expedite the flow of traffic after the completion of the fireworks.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
I'll make that motion to concur with the administration and authorize a no-fee permit for the 2017 Romulus fireworks on the city property south of Ecorse Road, along with the other stipulations that were made.
Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Abdo, supported by Mr. Wadsworth. And this is to concur with the administration authorizing no fee permit for the 2017 Romulus fireworks on city property. Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. Next item is C, and that's a request to concur with the administration, authorize ITB 16/17-23. That's change order number 2 that came as a recommendation of Roberto Scapitici and our city engineer, OHM, for the concrete repairs for 2 alternate locations, Niagara Street and Oakwood Street approach, with a favorable pricing provided by 4E Enterprises in the amount of $170,660. Those funds have been verified out of the capital outlay and local roads account.
So move for ITB 16/17-23, change order for the number 2 concrete repairs.
Support.
Been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Roscoe. And this is for the ITB 16/17-23 change order number 2 concrete repairs. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. Item D is a recommendation from Lynn Conway, our purchasing director, and Kat Ritter, assistant DPW director. And this is to concur with the administration and award bid ITB 16/17-40 to the lowest responsible and responsive bidder, Moyers Textile, for 3-year contract for uniform rental and laundry services for the city of Romulus DPW. These funds have been verified and come out of the general fund, B&G, building and grounds, part out of motor vehicle, major and local streets. Also, some of it hits water and sewer fund uniform expense.
Mr. Chair, I'll make that motion for ITB 16/17-40, 3-year uniform rental and laundry services contract.
Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Abdo. This is for the ITB 16/17-40 3-year uniform rental and laundry service contract. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. The next item, E, is a request that came from J.D. Suttles, Public Safety Director, and this is to concur with the administration, authorize the police department to dispose of, by way of public auction, 3 Romulus Police Department vehicles that are no longer in service. The revenue received from that auctioning and sale of these vehicles will be returned to the city funds where the vehicles originally were purchased from, minus the $50 per vehicle fee that Martin Towing handles to process them.
We'll move for the disposal and auction of the 3 vehicles for the Romulus Police Department.
Support.
Motion by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Abdo, for the disposal, auction of 3 Romulus Police Department vehicles. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. Next item is item F, and that's a request that came as a recommendation from Lynn Conway, purchasing director, and Roberto Scapitici, DPW director. And this is to concur with the administration, award RFP 16/17-37. This is for a 3-year contract for emergency on-call repair for city sewer and water systems to the 2 lowest, most responsive bidders, RJ&J Enterprises and Blue Ribbon Contracting, Inc. These funds have been verified and come out of the Water and Sewer Fund Contractual Services account.
Mr. Chair, I'll make that motion for REP 16/17-37, 3-year contract for emergency on-call repairs for the city's water and sewer system.
Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Abdo, and this is for RFP 16/17-37. That's the 3-year contract for emergency on-call repairs for city water and sewer systems. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. Next item is G, and that's a request to concur with the administration and introduce Budget Amendment 16/17-26, and that's just to reflect a donation received to assist the purchase of mobile speed trailer from the capital outlay account. This has no effect on fund balance.
So moved to concur with the administration to introduce Budget Amendment 16/17-26 to reflect the donation.
Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Abdo, supported by Mr. Kraut, and this is for the budget amendment 16/17-26 general fund. Ms. Abdo?
Mr. Barton?
Mr. Wadsworth?
Just a quick, where did the 3,200 come from? What was the source of the
They want to
donation?
be, Captain, did they want to be named? I don't know. Director, do you know that the donation for the trailer, did they want to be named or kept anonymous? Okay,
Okay,
Marathon,
thank you. Good.
local business.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. The next item is item H, and what you have before you is another budget amendment. This is introduction, and this is a request to concur with the administration, introduce budget amendment 16/17-27, and that's recognition from June 30th of 2016 general fund balance assignment as reported on the fiscal year end.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion for Budget Amendment 16-17-27 for the general fund.
Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Abdo for budget amendment 16/17-27 general fund. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. Last item for action is item I, and that's a recommendation from Lynn Conway, Purchasing Director, and Roberto Scapitici, DPW Director, and that's a request to concur with the administration and award RFP 16/17-18 for the acquisition of a sewer inspection equipment, including a CCTV camera system, to be installed into a new mid-roof Ford Transit van for the City of Romulus DPW, to Jack Doheny Companies. The amount is $198,621, and the funds have been verified. 130 of, and 121 of the camera currently available out of the sewer fund, and then a portion out of capital outlay for $68,000, and then some also out of motor vehicle that ties into the vehicle that it's housed in.
So moved for bid 16/17-18 for sewer inspection equipment for the DPW.
Been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Mr. Kraut for the RFP 16/17-18 sewer inspection equipment, DPW. Ms. Abdo?
This doesn't particularly pertain to this, but as we're talking about the sewer, one of the questions that has been arising is that a lot of the repairs that we have uptown on Bibbin Street, how soon those are we almost to the end of that repair?
Yeah, they're doing well.
I know, I just wondered if I could tell residents.
Do we have an updated date? Anybody on that? Do we know, Roberto, approximate? I know they're making good progress, and I tell you what, they've done a great job of keeping the people connected to water. So they had to run a lot of special lines to do that and not be disruptive to both the residential and businesses. So any ballpark on the
Well, I just want to get a quick clarification. Are you talking about the road project?
No, the sewer.
water?
Water.
Water.
Oh, okay, on Bibbins, sure.
Yes.
Yeah, that's almost wrapping up
Great.
to a completion with that portion of the project. We're moving into the E-course and Middle Belt area where we're starting on Farnham and Charles in that area as well.
I just noticed some of the piping that you pulled up and how old it was. And
Yeah,
the need
there
for some of
we've
this
got-
equipment is definitely there.
That was very much
Right,
needed in
We'd
that
like
area.
to kind of chip away at the infrastructure and get some
Obvious
renovation
that
to
we
it.
need some of this equipment. Okay,
Thanks,
thank you.
Roberto.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, City Council. That concludes my report.
Thank you.
6A is the clerk's report. And for 6A1, we have second reading, final adoption of an ordinance to repeal Chapter 60 Taxi Cab Transportation Network Company and vehicles for hire. This ordinance was introduced at the council meeting of May 22nd.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I'll make that motion for second reading and final adoption of the ordinance to repeal Chapter 60 Taxi Cab Transportation Network Company and Vehicles for Hire.
Support.
Motion by Ms. Abdo, supported by Mr. Wadsworth for second reading, final adoption of an ordinance to repeal Chapter 60 Taxi Cab Transportation Network Company and Vehicles for Hire. Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
6A2 is second reading and final adoption of an ordinance to amend Chapter 46, Peddlers and Solicitors, Article 4, Divisions 1 and 2, Sections 46 through 178, and this was also introduced at the council meeting of May 22nd.
Mr. Chair, I'll make that motion for second reading, final adoption of an ordinance to amend Chapter 46, Peddlers and Solicitors, Article 4, Divisions 1 and 2, Sections 46 through 178.
Support.
Motion by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Abdo for second reading and final adoption of ordinance to amend Chapter 46 Peddlers and Solicitors, Article 4, Division 1 and 2, Section 46 through 178. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Kraut?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
6A3 is second reading, final adoption of an ordinance to amend Chapter 30 licensing, and this was introduced at the council meeting of May 22nd.
So move for second reading, final adoption of an ordinance to amend Chapter 30 of the licensing
Support.
code.
Motion by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Mr. Kraut for second reading, final adoption, ordinance to amend Chapter 30 licensing. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo? Chair votes yes, motion approved.
6A4 is second reading, final adoption of Budget Amendment 16/17-25, General Fund, and this was introduced at the council meeting of May 22nd.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Ms.
I'll
Abdo?
make that motion for the second reading, final adoption of Budget Amendment 16/17-25 for the general fund.
Support.
Been motion by Ms. Abdo, supported by Ms. Roscoe for second reading and final adoption of Budget Amendment 16/17-25, General Fund. Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
6A5 is a request to add abandoned structure fees to the 2017-18 city fee schedule. The city fee schedule has been approved, however, it is possible to add this requested fee because the schedule is not effective until July 1st.
So moved.
Support.
Been motion by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Roscoe for request to add abandoned structure fees to 2017-18 city fee schedule. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
And 6A6 is a special meeting request to discuss an ordinance amendment to Chapter 8, Buildings and Building Regulations, and Article 8, Property Maintenance. And the time of 6:30 PM on June the 12th is available for the study session.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Ms. Abdo.
so move for the special meeting request to discuss the ordinance amendments.
Support.
Been motion by Ms. Abdo, supported by Ms. Roscoe for special meeting to request to discuss the ordinance amendments. Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
And that concludes the clerk's report, and 6B is the treasurer's report.
Good evening, council, mayor, deputy clerk, and audience. I just would like to remind everybody that we are still selling bricks for the Veterans Memorial. I do encourage you, if you are interested, to please contact us. You could also reach out to the Chamber of Commerce or the VFW. Once we get probably about 10 sales, then we'd like to call the gentleman out that does the etching. And we do, I do contact the families to let them know that there's the option to come out and watch the process, videotape it, or take pictures. So again, please give our office a call if you are interested. The price ranges anywhere from $125 to $75, and lots of bricks available. So please give us a call. Thank you.
Thank you.
Number 7 is public comment, and this is the portion of the meeting where the audience may address City Council. If you would like to speak, please raise your hand, and when recognized by the chairperson, approach the podium and state your name and address. We ask that you keep your comments to 3 minutes, and any replies from council will be voiced under number 8, unfinished business on the agenda. And we do not have any written requests this evening.
Any comments from the audience? No comments from the audience? We'll close that part out.
Number 8 is unfinished business.
Mr. Barton?
Mr. Wadsworth?
If I could, to Mayor Burkhoff, recently I mentioned that Barth Road needed some coal patch, and they were out there today, and the people down there appreciate it. And they did a good job, too.
They'll also, they're going to be cutting in that area for weeds tomorrow.
That's good, too, sir.
Number 9 is new business. Number 10 is communication.
Yes, Ms. Abdo.
I just want to announce that Wednesday is our annual prom toast at the high school before the prom. I believe it starts at 5 o'clock, and it's at the high school atrium. Thank you.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes. If you're celebrating a birthday in June, I want to wish you a happy birthday and many more.
And another on communication, I just want to mention that the good job that the DPW, Roberto Cappucci does with this department, and also with all the departments in Romulus. We had some requests on my neighborhood to get something done, and it was done right away without any question. So I just want to give a shout out to our department. Mayor?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I just wanted to also, give a shout out to Linda Choate. She's out again tonight. I know, Linda, miss you, we love you, we hope you're doing well, and get back soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Number 11 is adjournment.
So moved.
Support.
It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Roscoe for adjournment. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. We are adjourned. Thank you.